Hello, this is Stephanie from mypastcpaexam.com. Today, I'd like to go through the strategy of picking a state board based on the experience requirements for CPA licensing. The rule of thumb. If you are qualified in your own state, or the state that you plan to live or work permanently, this is the best place to register. It's helpful, for example, if you interview for a firm that favors in-state license holders or launch your own CPA firm. Having said that, I understand that it is not possible for some candidates to fulfill the requirements of your own state. This video can help you choose a state with minimal investment and effort. Identify your bottleneck. If it is tough for you to get qualified in your own state, there must be a bottleneck in either the educational requirements or experience requirements. Educational requirements. We went through the educational requirements extensively in this video. Please watch if you haven't done so, because if you are able to complete the standard educational requirements listed here, you will have a much easier time fulfilling the rest of the requirements. Experience requirements. Here is the standard experience requirements according to the 3 E's. 1 to 2 years of relevant experience, supervised and or verified by US CPA. Relevant experience. State boards have different definitions of relevance. In the old days, the CPA title was mostly for public accounting, and therefore, only public accounting experience could be counted. Nowadays, the state boards realize that CPA is practically a qualification for general accounting, and therefore, many states are accepting non-public accounting experience as well. This means that you don't have to be an auditor. You can instead work in the accounting department of businesses and corporations, non-profits, governmental agencies, and even a teaching position in relevant field. Each state has its own definition, so please double-check the rules before applying. Supervision and verification by US CPA. Your experience can be gained anywhere around the world, as long as you have been supervised by an active CPA license holder. In practice, it is much harder to find a boss with active US license outside of the US, or if you don't work in a CPA firm. Some states, such as New Hampshire, allow your experience to be supervised and verified by a CPA equivalent. This often refers to members of statutory accounting bodies with mutual reciprocal agreements with that in the US, that is, chartered accountants in Australia, Canada, Ireland, and New Zealand, CPAs in Hong Kong, and CPCs in Mexico. If this doesn't work for you, please check out the following states with more flexible experience requirements. State boards with more flexible experience requirements. Illinois and Virginia normally accept work experience supervised by someone who is not a US CPA. This means that your previous experience, possibly in other countries, can be counted if it is relevant. Arkansas, Indiana, Montana, and Washington are some of the states that require a CPA to verify your experience, but this CPA does not need to be your supervisor. This means that if there is an active CPA whom you know but who is not your boss, you can still ask him or her to verify the experience for you. Massachusetts has a non-reporting license that doesn't require work experience if you have a graduate degree. Guam has an inactive license that doesn't require work experience as well if you have an accounting concentration. These are what I call limited licenses and have certain restrictions on how to use the CPA title. Please make sure you are fine with the restrictions before applying. There may be other restrictions that affect your decision. For example, if you don't have a social security number, you cannot apply for certain states, such as Arkansas, Indiana, and Virginia. One common question. This is one of the most frequently asked questions. Can I take the exam based on some favorable exam requirements in one state? Then, After passing the exam, transfer the exam credit to another state with more favorable experience requirements. The answer is generally no, since this is pretty much gaming the system. Many state boards discourage this practice by stating that you should fulfill the exam requirements before taking the exam. In other words, these states will not accept your exam credit transfer unless you have completed the educational requirements beforehand. If you plan to sort things out at the end using exam credit transfer, please think again. It is much easier to pave a way that works all the way through the licensing process. In summary, on experience requirements, you don't have to work in public accounting or work in the US, but you have to work under a US CPA or equivalent, and your board's license must be in active status. You may be able to transfer your exam credit to another state with more flexible experience requirement, but there is a risk that the state board does not accept this transfer. There are a few states that have more flexible experience requirements, and we went through some of them in this video. I hope this video gives you an overview of the CPA experience requirements and its impact on how you can choose a state board at the beginning of a CPA journey. If you have any question on your own situation, please drop me a note below. You may also want to subscribe to my YouTube channel for more information on the application process and the exam. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.